Hello and welcome back to Medium Rare. My name is Rag Reynolds and today we are talking about that dreaded cancel culture again, folks. This is a horrible, horrible story. This actually makes me angry. So if you're not aware, there's this girl called Gengar GF and she basically blew up on TikTok and kind of got a little bit famous overnight. And now this sort of thing does happen every now and again. People get famous or go viral or whatever from a couple of little TikTok videos or a YouTube video or whatever else. However, the reason we are talking about this girl is because, you guessed it, cancel culture has come for her already. Pretty much within a day of blowing up. People have come to try and cancel her already. And here is where it all seems to have started. This girl, Langevin, posted, "This little Jersey e-girl is following white supremacists, so I don't know why y'all are standing her this hard." And now just what does she mean by is following white supremacists? Surely you're now expecting to find out that she was following and interacting with and supporting people who are complete white nationalists, people who are advocating for whites to be above all, people who are trying to diminish all other races. Well, you should be shocked, but you won't be. That's not the case whatsoever. It turned out that the quote-unquote white supremacists were Blaire White, shoe on head, and armoured skeptic, none of whom are actually white supremacists. But anyhow, this caught fire, with the original tweet getting over 50,000 likes and over 5,000 retweets. And before long, Gengar GF was apologising on her Twitter. "Apparently I'm a white supremacist now. I've followed Blaire White, but I do not agree with her politics. I like hearing all sides of politics, even the ones I don't agree with. Racism is not and has never been okay. Sorry for any confusion. I accept and acknowledge my privilege to be able to say that. The last thing I would ever want is for people to think that I would want to support or enable any type of bigotry. Thank you for hearing me out and, more importantly, informing me." She later continued saying, "Hey, this is not an invitation to attack anyone. They had valid concerns and I don't blame them for calling me out. I thank them for informing me and I'm asking you all to not send any hate their way. One last note, just as I showed my support for the trans community previously, that same sentiment stands for any type of discrimination. Racism, homophobia, transphobia, sexism, etc. of any kind is not welcome here. I've also expressed that I support sex workers and that they should be respected. Not sure where this whorephobic thing is coming from." And honestly, just reading through this, I feel really annoyed about this entire situation. This girl was literally just following people. People who are not even white supremacists, as was being claimed. She was just following people. And people came and tried to cancel her to the point where she felt it was necessary to make multiple tweets to apologise for this and to try and explain herself. And personally, just to give a little bit of advice, maybe it's not my place, but I'm giving advice anyway, to anyone who ever ends up in such a similar situation, do not apologise. Never apologise to these types of people. Do not apologise to hate mobs. Ever. No matter what. Hate mobs do not care for your apologies. They do not want your apology. What they want is blood. And as soon as you apologize for something, as soon as you give an inch, they will come for you again and again. If you concede one point, they will keep coming until you concede a second point, and a third, until eventually you are subservient. Until eventually you join them. It is unhealthy, it is horrible. Do not apologise to these people, ever. I can promise you right now, no one actually cares that this girl is following Blaire White. No one cares. Genuinely, no one gives a damn. The only reason anyone is even mentioning this is because they can get clout from it. Because they can make money from it. That is literally the only reason. Because people feel justified jumping on a bandwagon and going to take another person down. Going to try and destroy another person's livelihood. People like to feel justified. People like to feel as though they personally are serving justice and making a difference in the world. They like to feel important. If you were to approach the average Twitter user and ask, do you care that X person is following Blaire White or X other person, anyone really, most people are not going to give a damn. Taking away just how horrible or how good a person may be, following that person does not mean you endorse them. Following someone does not mean you like them, does not mean you agree with them. Just because you follow the president or prime minister or leader of your country on social media, that doesn't mean you agree with every single point they have to say. There is nothing wrong with following people who you disagree with or who are even despicable. There is nothing wrong with following bad people. And I'm not even saying that Blaire or any of these other people are bad people. I'm just saying that if they were, there is nothing wrong with following them. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be informed and keep up to date with what they are saying and doing and what they think about certain things. It is ridiculous to go against that and label someone as a horrible person and try to cancel them because they're following someone that you dislike or perceive to be a negative or bad person. And just to follow up on all of this, if you actually look at the girl who initially posted this tweet, if you go onto her profile, there is this tweet here. But just so you all know, every time I get bombarded with messages, a few of these slip into, don't you love hypervisibility? And you can see here, there's a screenshot of her DM, someone asking permission to send you money. And she said permission granted and gave her Cash App. And you can see here, this goes exactly into what I was just talking about. This is a person who doesn't actually care that Gengar GF was following Blaire White. What she wants was clout and money and attention. And she seems to be getting that from her hypervisibility, from her 50,000 likes. People are following her, people are supporting her and giving her money. And that is why she said it, not because she actually cared. And that is what social justice and these cancel culture types of people are all really after. There's also this other tweet exchange that has been circulating where someone said, everyone report lychee emoji. This bitch nearly drove a good friend of mine to hanging himself from his closet door. You want to make jokes about people, do it at your kitchen table and not online where someone can genuinely feel hurt by your words. And she responded to this saying, I thought y'all were trolling at first, so I didn't respond, but now I don't care. If your friend has so much male guilt, he feels like killing himself is a better option than fighting for gender equality, then maybe he's right. I can't imagine why he feels so guilty, but that's on y'all. That... What? This is a real tweet from this person who just tried to cancel someone else for following someone who was problematic. Like, what goes through these people's minds? These are not good people. And after all of this, the hate started to pile up and people were going against Blaire White, saying that she's a white nationalist and all the rest of it. And all of this actually eventually led to Blaire White deleting both her Instagram and her Twitter accounts. You can see here there's someone tweeting, Blaire White isn't a white supremacist though, she's just conservative. I don't understand where that whole thing is coming from. And this person responded, I didn't know conservative and racist were synonyms. I guess you learn something new every day. And here you can see they've screenshotted a bunch of tweets that are all clearly jokes, whether you agree with those jokes being distasteful or not, they are clearly jokes. And somehow they are using this as proof that Blaire White is a white nationalist. Maybe to you this is proof that she's not a great person, but proof that she's a white nationalist, that is a huge stretch and it is disgustingly wrong. There were also some DMs seemingly of Blaire White using the N-word with a hard R in DMs, and those were circulating around in a video form and they looked pretty legit, and it seemed like Blaire had said this before everything had been deleted, and people were making out that she has now deleted her Instagram and Twitter because she was exposed for that. But John Swan on Twitter made a little video explaining and proving that these DMs are in fact not real, they are fake.
This is the original video, downloaded straight from Twitter and put in. Up to this point here, it all looks pretty real until the transition between the messages and the details panel. Over here, let's just do some quick frame-by-frame analysis. We can see here, why does one part of the message transition before the other part, and why do the DMs black out? It's almost like this person's never DM'd Blaire White before, and these are just superimposed on top. Wow, that's amazing. Well, I didn't want to make any assumptions. I thought, okay, I don't have an iPhone 10 or above. That's what this has been recorded on. I use Android, so I'm going to need to have some sort of a comparison so I can see what we're dealing with here. And my good friend Rag Reynolds did a little screen recording for me. This is an actual Instagram DM, and transitioning to the details tab does not cut out one part of the message, and the whole message transitions over not just one part of it. These DMs are not real. People are just believing stuff without any evidence whatsoever and seem to forget that photo and video manipulation exists.
Anyway, that is where I'm bringing this video to an end. I just want to make it perfectly clear to anyone who is ever being cancelled for something so ridiculous as this. Do not apologize. Please, just do not give in to these ridiculous, disgusting people. They do not care. They don't actually care about whatever it is you have been accused of. They just want clout. They just want to feel good about themselves. They do not give a damn about you or what you have done. Do not apologize. All it does is make things worse for yourself. Anyway, until next time, let me know what you think about all of this in those comments down below. Also, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button or dislike if you disagreed and disliked the video. Also, check out my links in the description down below. And if you really like my videos and want to support the channel, then hit that join button underneath the video. And until next time, everyone, this was Medium Rare, and my name is Rag Reynolds.